the linguistic meaning, jir, from the shar'i meaning. It's the intention. And the ulama, they say, shar'an, i.e. the meaning of the language, the meaning of sawm in the religion. Alright, the first one was in the language. Now the meaning of sawm in the religion is al-imsaku biniyatin ala al-muftarat min tulu' al-fajr al-thani ila ghurubi al-shams. One more time. al-imsaku biniyatin ala al-mufattirat min tulu' al-fajr al-thani ila ghurub al-shams. Which means to refrain. We've got that word again. Al-imsak came again. Al-imsak came again. But what was the difference? Biniyatin, with the intention. What is the intention, ya ayyuhal Muslim, that you have to have when you make al-imsak with your niyyah? You make imsak, you refrain with your intention to stay away from everything that invalidates the fast. Not only sins. Anything that invalidates the fast. You want to truly fast in this month of Ramadan, stay away from anything that will invalidate the fast. Whether directly, i.e. food, drink, sexual relations, or anything that will, like I mentioned before, cause the rewards to be diminished or decreased. Al-ghiba, backbiting, an-namima, tale carrying, and the likes. Alright? You stay away from anything that breaks your fast from the entry of Fajr to when the sun sets. Alright, guys? And some of the ulama, they define the word siyam in the religion بأنه إمساك مخصوص في وقت مخصوص من شخص مخصوص عن أشياء مخصوصة. They say, do you understand Arabic, Sheikh? You understand Arabic? No. Okay, because as I was reading, he was nodding his head.
I don't know.
I'm thinking, mashallah.
I like the word, whatever you're saying.
Inshallah.
Whatever you are teaching, that's nice.
Yeah, inshallah is correct though.
Nice.
You only like him if it's in conformity with what Allah wa ta'ala and the Prophet came with. Some of the ulama, they mentioned that as-sawm is not only al-imsak, but it is al-imsak makhsus. It's a specific type of refraining and staying away. When? fi waqtin makhsusin. In a specific or a particular time. من شخص مخصوص, from a particular person. مثلا لو صام كافر الكافر هل يقبل صيامه؟ أبدا. If a non-Muslim was to fast in the month of Ramadan, does the whole 30, he even pray, he even does Qiyamul Layl and the whole 9, he don't get rewarded for it, because from the conditions of a deed being accepted, as some of the ulama mentioned, is 3. Al-awwal, an yakuna musliman. An yakuna musliman. One of my friends said to me, what's the shurut of a deed being accepted? What's the conditions for a deed being accepted? I said, طبعا al-ikhlas al-mutaba'a. He said, لا, an yakuna musliman. I was like, طبعا. That's what some scholars mentioned, that there are 3 conditions for a deed to be accepted. And the first one is that you're a Muslim. But oftentimes when you're teaching these things in the religion, you're addressing Muslims. So there's no need to mention the first one. Ala kulli halin, it is to stay away from a particular type of refraining in a particular time from a particular person, and ashya'a makhsusatin, from particular types of things. Now, Sheikh Talib.
What was the other 2 conditions?
Conditions? Of the
for
deed being accepted? Excellent question. Who can answer that question? He said, what are the other 2 conditions that are needed or required for a deed to be accepted? We said that you are, number 1, that you're a Muslim. Number 2, لا ليس العاقل. Did you say
بلوغ. Has to be in conformity with the Quran.
what?
Okay, sorry. Has to be in conformity with the Quran and Sunnah.
Okay, that's the second one. That's al-mutaba'ah.
What do you say?
What's the...
Okay, the first.
No, you lost it now. I'm going to repeat the question. The brother said, I said that one of the conditions of a deed being accepted is that you're a Muslim.
Yeah.
What's the second condition?
What do you say?
Which one? Adam, he said that it's in conformity with the Quran and the Sunnah, which is true, but there's a condition that's always mentioned before that. Lillah. That the deed is done sincerely for Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala.
Intention for Allah.
Intention. النية لله تبارك وتعالى. إيش الدليل يا إخوان؟ الدليل على أن أيوة إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى الحديث معروف.
And what was the third one?
And the third one is, who can help him إخوان؟
البلوغ.
لا ليس البلوغ.
Conformity with the Quran and Sunnah.
الموافقة للسنة النبوية الصحيحة. صح? The deed has to be in conformity with what the Prophet ﷺ came with.
What does conformity mean?
Yani in agreement, in harmony. I.e., whatever the Prophet ﷺ said that we can do, that's what we do, and we don't go outside of that limit.
So according to the Sunnah.
According to the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wa sallam. وقت الصلاة. سبحان الله بحمده. شكرا جزيلا إخوان. بسم الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
جزاك الله خيرا. هو بيخان. We finished, right?
The three conditions.
Yeah, we finished the conditions for deed to be accepted. One, that you're a Muslim, al-Islam. الشرط الأول الإسلام. الشرط الثاني الإخلاص لله تبارك وتعالى. والشرط الثالث الموافقة أو المتابعة ماذا؟ للنبي صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم. عندكم أسئلة يا إخوان؟ Anyone got any questions? لا؟ جميل. طيب. That brings me on to the next point, and perhaps we'll probably it's 9:15 we pray, right? Probably this is probably going to be the last thing that we get to cover. لماذا سؤال لماذا فرض رمضان على المسلمين? Why has Ramadan, i.e. fasting in the month of Ramadan, been obligated upon the Muslims? I want one of the young brothers. When I say young, I'm talking about under 20. How old are you, Akhi? كويس جيد. With the hood? No, you can put it on if you want, if your head's cold, no problem. No. You're under 20, right? جيد. Hamza, I know you're under 20. How old are you, أخي?
28, 29.
Okay. كم عمرك؟ 19. طيب أنت إن شاء الله you're included. Why do you guys think Ramadan and fasting has been obligated upon the Muslims? And if you can mention the proof, it's better. Why do we have to fast? Fantastic. It's one of the pillars of Al-Islam. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال في حديث صحيح بني الإسلام على 5 شهادة لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا رسول الله وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وحج البيت وصوم رمضان أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So it's a pillar, of course. Jade. What else? المشتغل بالجوال. لماذا فرض رمضان على المسلمين؟ أنت
أنا
أيوة.
كما كتب على من قبلكم كمان يا ربي.
أكمل الآية يا شيخ، أكمل.
لعلكم تتقون.
لعلكم تتقون. هذا هو التقوى. إخواني, we have to understand this. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is not in need of our worship. He's not in need of our worship. nor is he in need of our leaving off of food, drink, and sexual relations. Allah doesn't need us to do that. Let's understand that. So it begs the question, why are we fasting? Why are we putting ourselves through these things which we don't have to do? What's the reason? Na'am, it's a pillar from the pillars of Al-Islam. Na'am. We do it because Allah Ta'ala loves it. Na'am. But what is the maqsood from fasting? It's mentioned in the ayah, as the brother Shaykh mentioned, as Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who have attained al-iman, kutiba alaykum ماذا؟ الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. هكذا توقف الشيخ. The Shaykh the Shaykh, when I asked the question, he stopped there. Oh, you will believe fasting has been prescribed for you, just like it was prescribed on those that came before you. خلاص. طيب, so we fast just like لعلكم تتقون, so that you may become people of what, إخوان? التقوى. So from the biggest goals and objectives from the month of Ramadan, Ikhwani, is that you leave the month, and I said this last year and I got it wrong and Abu Sumayya corrected me. Do you remember, Akhi? I said you leave the month of Ramadan in a state of taqwa more than you entered the month. Alright, guys? So let's say your level of taqwa is here at the beginning, you want it to be up here at the end. This is what the al-maqsood. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you can have taqwa of Allah Ta'ala. Like some of the Salaf, they used to mention, what is at-taqwa? It's that you put a barrier between yourself and what? And your ma'asi. You put a barrier, a shield, a form of protection between yourself and your sins. That is taqwa. In another narration, one of the Salaf were asked, one of the companions, what is at-taqwa? So he asked him, have you ever walked on a path that had thorns on it? The other companion said, Na'am. He said, well, what did you do? Well, what would you do? Sorry. He said, I'll lift up my thobe so as not to get the thorns pricking on my clothes. He said, that is taqwa. Anytime you put something between yourself and the ma'asi of Allah Ta'ala, that is a form of taqwa. So this is one of the goals and objectives that we should all be trying to get from the month of Ramadan. Then Allah Ta'ala says, أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ. They are a number of days. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَامٍ أُخَرٍ. Allah Ta'ala says, and whom from among you is ماذا? Is sick, مريضًا أو على سفر. Is sick or on a journey, i.e. those two categories of people are not required to fast. If you're sick and you are unable to fast for a legitimate reason, then مَعَلَيْكَ الصِّيَامِ. You don't have to fast if you're legitimately sick. That doesn't mean if you got a runny nose or you got a slight migraine. If you're sick, whereby in fasting you're going to increase your sickness, alright? Whether that could be death or less than that, then you're not required to fast. And the one that is traveling, that's considered to be on a journey, then such a person has the concession not to fast. But what does Allah Ta'ala say is a compensation for one of those, for somebody that enters into one of those two categories? فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. Then that particular person who falls into one of those aforementioned categories is to make up the fast after the month of Ramadan. So make up the days that they've missed after the month of Ramadan. Then Allah Ta'ala yaqul. Somebody stop me when it's time to stop, okay? وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. As for those people who can fast, they have the ability to fast, but with difficulties, then Allah Ta'ala gave us a makhraj. He gave us a solution to the one that is able to fast. يُطِيقُونَهُ, lakin he has some su'uba in doing that. Allah Ta'ala yaqul فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. Then his expiation for that is that he is to feed a miskin, i.e. somebody that is Islamically considered as a poor person. فَمَنْ تَتَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. But whomsoever is able to do a supererogatory fast, then it is better for him. أَنْ تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. But that you fast is better in kuntum ta'lamun, if only you knew. Ikhwani, in this ayah that I just read to you guys, there is a proof that goes to show that when Ramadan, or with the issue of fasting first came down on the Muslims, it wasn't an obligation on the Muslims to fast. In the ayah that I just read, there is a daleel that goes to show that alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, that fasting was not an obligation upon the ummah in the early days. Where is that proof? I'm going to go straight with Abu Sumayya because we don't have time on our side right now.
Fasting is better for you if you knew the choice.
Jay, but what was just before that? Fast is better for me if you knew. What was just before that, أخي? هكذا قال. لا.
It's a derogatory.
He says that, but Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala يقول وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ. For those that are able to fast, but the meaning is with difficulties, فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٌ. Then they have to feed a poor person. When the command for fasting came down, it wasn't an obligation on everybody to fast. Those that you had a choice. Those who were able to fast fasted. Those who weren't able to fast, or they were able but with difficulties, Allah says you can feed a miskin. But then Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala يقول فَمَنْ تَتَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. But whomsoever is able to do extra, then it is better for him. وَأَنْ تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. That you fast is better for you. إِن كُنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. I'm going to end with this, ikhwan. In this ayah is also a dalil, as we're going to cover inshallah ta'ala next lesson, of the science of an-nasikh wal-mansukh. The science of verses being abrogated in the Quran. I just mentioned here that وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٌ. This ayah goes to show that the Muslims had an option. But we know that fasting is an obligation now. So there had to be an ayah that came down, which we're going to read soon, next lesson, which goes to show that this ayah that I read was wiped out, and Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala does as He pleases. Subhanaka Allahu a'lam. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakumullahu khair for your attendance and your attentiveness. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, I would.